please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi guys, welcome back. Time now to talk about a lot of stocks. Our research team is here to give you that very list, CNBC TV18's top 10 list of stocks to watch for the day. Anuj, what are you looking at today?
Sonia, once again, with the caveat that today is not a day where, most days are not like that, that you want to predict. You want to see what the market is doing and then take a call. JSW Steel, yesterday from the low it bounced a bit and it bounced from the 20-day moving average. My sense is the market might now take a call that JSW Steel might outperform Tata Steel, and the global rally is intact. So from here on, there might be a pair trade which might be on where people may buy JSW and sell Tata Steel. The other is Maruti. It's a stock which is now corrected 13% from peak. It's trading below 20, 50 and 100 DMA, not 200 DMA. So that would be an interesting stock to track for me. Can it move towards the 200-day moving average? Being in a bull market, possible, but let's see.
You mean it can bottom out?
My sense is for investors, of course, they would want to buy, but from trading point of view, it's become weak stock. Like we saw with iShares as well. And normally stocks like iShares and Maruti, they are leaders of the market, so they normally start their correction first and they end their correction also first. So that's also an anecdotal evidence to look for when you look at individual stocks.
Okay, so it's really the stock that we have to keep on our radar. Okay, one stock which we can be very sure is going to react positively perhaps is going to be Fortis. Ekta, tell us the big events there.
Yes, there are two events which have taken place in Fortis over last evening. First is that we got the data from NSE where RK Damani's Derive Investments has bought 26.5 lakh shares, which is basically equal to 0.5% stake in the company. Separately, we have the promoter holding, which has come all the way down to 8.85% versus 34.43% in Fortis. This is because of the invocation or the selling of pledged shares by the lenders. Now, nearly 25.58% of stake of the pledged promoter shares has basically been sold in the open market on Feb 15th and 16th. This is basically following the court order where the court did allow the lenders to sell the pledged shares in Fortis. So that's the reason why you've seen the promoter holding fall. But because of RK Damani buying stake, I think the stock is definitely going to be in the green.
Yes, I guess somebody got to know, or RK Damani's purchase has definitely pushed up the stock.
Exactly, and from retail shareholders' point of view, it went to 114, 115 thereabout, and from that point it's now already up to 146, and there's a good chance that it opens up. And just because Mr. Damani has bought 0.5% stake does not mean that you should be latching on at 155, 160, because obviously it can go to 100 without impacting Mr. Damani, even one bit. It can go to 0 without impacting Mr. Damani. But it might not be the case for you. So of course there's value in Fortis, we all know that, but there's also risk. You don't know the kind of risks which are also involved.
I just want to point out,
it must be a kind of a venture fund kind of guy who should be able to take such risks. It's not meant for everyone.
Two important events coming up next week is Feb 26, where the execution of the 3,500 crore order which was awarded to Daiichi by the Delhi High Court is going to come up on the 26th of Feb, and 28th of Feb is going to be the board meet for the numbers for Fortis Q2 and Q3. So the auditor's report is going to be very important.
Okay, so some bit of volatility perhaps as the numbers and more details come out. But Tata Steel was really the stock of yesterday. Nigel joins in to tell us what brokerages have made of that big deal. Nigel.
Well, yesterday Tata Steel took a sharp knock. In fact, the brokerages, they have come out with their notes now overnight, and we have Citi. They have a buy rating with a target price of around 830 rupees. They say yes, the Bhushan Steel acquisition could come in at a higher multiple, and that could hurt the fair value a bit. But they're saying that if in fact Tata Steel uses the captive ore, that's iron ore, for the Bhushan Steel plant, that could push up the EBITDA per ton by nearly around 3,000 to around 4,000 rupees. CLSA as well, they have a buy rating on the stock, a target price of around 920 rupees. They're positive on the overall steel demand in India, owing to the demand-supply mismatch as well. And they're saying, they're looking out for various other details in terms of this deal, the deal structure, the iron ore integration, as well as the backward integration. So the stock could bounce back in today's trade.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Could bounce back. I mean, most of the brokerages have continued to endorse a buy on Tata Steel. Okay, let me just look at the PSU banks. That was the one that was the worst performing sector. Remember, it fell 2.5%, but at one point it was down 3.5%. The only thing that I could point out is that if you looked at the delivery-based figures of those stocks, it's not very heavy in terms of delivery-based selling. It looks like more trader-based selling, and therefore there is a chance that the selling is over. Also, I want to point out to the valuations. Whenever you've seen PSU banks go below half times book, and you already have BOB, Bank of India at half times book, Union Bank even below half book, usually you have seen buying coming in. So I just want to put that on the table. I'm not trying to say that they're going to start going green today, but it's just an observation that over time, when they go below half book, buying has emerged.
Attractive. And I think that's the view that a lot of global investors have as well. We did speak with Jonathan Sheasel a while back. He said he likes PSU banks. Let's hear what global guru Mark Mobius and Sanjay Dutt of Quantum Securities have to say on the ongoing PNB fraud case, and also how to approach the financial sector right now. Listen in.
The Indian government is going to step in and say, look, we will not allow this bank to get into trouble, and we'll work something out at the end of the day. So I'm not that worried about it, because we realize that these things do happen. The good news is the fact that it did come out, it was revealed, means that all the banks will be ultra careful to look at their systems. I would start with the banks. The fact that you've had this, this situation with the banks are going to continue to survive and thrive. And I would focus on those banks that are improving their digital offering, because, as you know, there are incredible improvements being made in the digital side. And the government's efforts, by the way, this is one government reform that's been very beneficial in setting up this payment system on a national basis. Is going to be incredible boost for banks who, and this is the big who, will be able to utilize that advantage.
So in my opinion, I mean, I may buy it down at 115, 140, whatever the price is. It may go down to 100 rupees, but at least I'm reasonably confident with all the numbers realistically that I'm looking at in front of me clearly. And I took on PHP intentionally because that's the one which is causing all the crisis for everyone in PSU banks. I'm reasonably confident with a 50,000 crores net worth, and you're getting the bank at a core value of 16,000 crores. So why wouldn't I buy it? I will buy it, and I will see it in the next 12 to 18 months, again, closer to its book value, which will be 50,000 crores, 45,000 crores, even if you adjust it, 40,000 crores.
Okay, that's the view from Sanjay Dutt on PNB, where he stuck his neck out. Anisha, are you watching out for JSW Energy?
Well, Anuj, we've heard a lot about the company investing into the electric vehicle space. We had heard earlier that they're looking to set up a manufacturing facility in Gujarat, and now we understand that a part of the Mumbai and the Maharashtra conclave that is going on, they have announced that they've signed a MOU with the Maharashtra government to set up a manufacturing unit in Maharashtra. Remember, the company is looking to invest 4,000 crores over the next 2-3 years on that. But do remember, this is a MOU as of now. We have been waiting to hear who's the partner when it comes to the electric vehicle space, because given the company does not have much experience in that space. So we'll watch out for more developments, but might react positively on that note.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. And someone who has a lot of experience in the electric vehicle space is also investing into this space. That's M&M. So M&M will also be in focus as part of the Maharashtra conclave. They too have made an announcement that they will make an additional investment of 500 crores into electric vehicles. This is in addition to the ongoing 6,500 crores sum that they have for their expansion plan into the electric vehicle space. This investment will be made at the Chakan plant for product development, and they've come out with a launch pipeline as well. 2 electric vehicles will be launched by 2019. Currently, their capacity is about 100 electric vehicles per day. And as we know that they're looking to expand very, quickly into this electric vehicle space. Recently, they tied up with EESL as well for that big electric vehicle deal. But Anisha, you're also watching out for Techno Electric and IndiGrid?
Well, yes, we've heard about a lot of acquisitions coming in from IndiGrid InvIT, and today we heard the same. Now they have signed a definitive agreement with Techno Electric to pick up the Patran transmission company. company at a purchase consideration of 232 crores. Now, in terms of the valuation, it does look like a very fair value when it comes to IndiGrid, because this is just at 3% premium to the independent valuation. As far as Techno Electric is concerned, as per the latest presentation, it was expected to add around 1,000 crore worth of revenue over the next 30-35 years to the company, with an annual revenue of around 30 crores. Now, in terms of the valuation, it doesn't look a great upside as far as Techno Electric is concerned, but definitely will aid the balance sheet, and that's why I might track positively.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. So plenty of stocks to watch this morning. Here's a quick recap of all the stocks that you guys need to follow today. Expect green on Fortis for sure. The other stocks that we are monitoring are Tata Steel, JSW Steel, JSW Energy, M&M, IndiGrid, Techno Electric and Maruti, SBI, PNB, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, Union Bank of India and Indian Bank.
Well, the SGX Nifty, for whatever it's worth, is now down about 9 points. It's recovered quite a bit, but as we've seen over the last 2 days, it's been a real poor indicator of where the markets could open. Ashwani Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani and Mitesh Thakkar now join us. Good morning, gentlemen. Ashwani, we had a bit of a short covering sort of pullback in last 30 minutes yesterday, last 1 hour actually. Your sense about where we are right now and what should be the trade?
Well, good morning. First of all, there is no double bottom. So let's not dream of double bottoms as yet, because double bottoms need to get confirmed. You know, unless 10,600 is crossed, and if there was a double bottom, you would have had FII buying, not selling. And that's what I said even yesterday. You know, somebody is trying to exit India. So that was clear with the price action. So my sense is you could have a 20-30 point upside on the Nifty, in continuation with yesterday's pullback. But overall, this 10,275, 300 will get taken out. And given the way large investors are behaving, it will get taken out with fairly strong force, because yesterday's pullback was nothing. No sector came into the positive, and very few stocks got into the green. So hardly the market breadth also improved from say 200 advances to 300 advances and 1400 declines. So it should be very clear that we are going lower. Bank Nifty has made a lower low yesterday, and so will Nifty. So on all rallies you should try to sell. Now there are days when you should chase, and there are days when you need to wait for a bit of a pullback. Today is that sort of day where you probably look for some sort of upside action before getting short.
Okay, and what would those levels be? Sorry, good morning, Ashwini. What would those levels be in Nifty and Nifty Bank? At what upper level would you sell?
See, 10,400, 450 is the level for about Nifty futures. And similarly, say 25, 200, 250. Now, these are ideal levels. Market need not respect them. But if we get, buying or, that's basically 150 points from where we closed on the Bank Nifty. Those would be good levels to get short.
Actually, this is, just to extend the point, this is of course not for day call, but the market has now seen decent correction from 11,000 on the Nifty to 10,370. At what point would you recommend investors to buy now?
See, if you see the monthly chart, the bar that we have for February has basically cleaned out the entire January bar and much more than that. And the 20-month moving average on Nifty is about 9,600. I will not be surprised if we go there. Similarly, on the Bank Nifty, that's like 22,000, 22,500. I won't be surprised if we get there, because while other markets have had shallower corrections, this has been a very strong 10% month. Often such months have follow through, and given the entire scenario we have in our market, that does not look unlikely. That's why I'm saying please wait for at least one intermediate high to be crossed before you buy. Just buying because it's great value, it's bull market correction, I don't think that's really the right way to go, because at 9,800, 9,700, prices will look very different. So the idea should be to remain with the trend of the market, which is on the downside right now.
Actually, I didn't think of figures, but I was going to ask the same question to Sudarshan. Sudarshan, at what time is a longer term you know, a longer-term trader also, a positional trader, or an investor supposed to look at the market as the index as a buy call?
Yeah, good morning, Lata. First of all, we went short yesterday at 10,450 at the open, and that trade has worked well. Our targets for March are about 10,000. Obviously, targets are just numbers, but it does appear the Nifty will slowly drift down to 10,000. So there is nothing to buy as of now. See, investors will get much better value if they are patient. This this correction could bottom out at 9,500, at 10,000, maybe even go lower to 9,000. More than the points, it's a time correction. So till I think May or June, there is no hurry. Now, if an investor wants to put money, that's always welcome. But there is no rush. You will get much better value in the first half by the time we end up in June or July. So there is 9,500 as a possible bottom and June, July as a time target.
Okay, so investors, don't be in a hurry and don't make hasty decisions. You will get better levels soon. Nitesh Thakkar also joins in. Nitesh, morning. What's the view in the very near term? Do you get a sense that this market is heading lower and that 10,276 low of February could be taken out soon?
Good morning. I think we've been saying that as much. I think what is happening is that we've kind of hit 10,300 again. Maybe say there's some pause in the selling and you might get a 2-3 days kind of a weak pullback, but the overall chart pattern does suggest a strong possibility of 10,100 being visited sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks after this choppiness plays out and this consolidation happens. And similarly on the bank Nifty, once we start getting a close below 25,000, I think levels of around 24,750 or even 24,250 to about 350 could be revisited. So I think the overall bias still remains negative. The way you get into short positions is as I think Ashwini said, I think selling near to 10,300 is not a very wise idea. I think that it's some kind of a support area. So either you sell below it once the lows are taken out, or possibly wait for a bounce back closer to about 10,400 to go short.
Okay. No, but you know what? I mean, I wanted to ask even Ashwini this. You cannot. You probably won't get that gap up that you desire. Then what do you do, Mitesh?
Yeah, so as I said, I think Lata, if you get a pullback, fair enough. Otherwise, you wait for the support level to be taken out, so that you are short and you're getting back into some kind of selling momentum. So sell below 10,300 or closer to 10,400. Simple.
Okay, let's discuss individual stocks then. And most of you have actually more sells than buys. Ashwini, your list?
See, PC Jeweler is a sell with a stop of 360, target of 320 while it's not involved, etc. But gems and jewelry guys will be in trouble with regulators and banks. So Repco Home is a sell with a stop of 542, target of 520. BEML is a sell with a stop of 1240, target of 1190. Bharat Forge you can buy with a stop of 730, target of 755. And RIL showed some strength yesterday. That's a buy with a stop of 920, target of 945.
Okay, so Darshan, what about you? One of your favorites, Bata, once again features on the buy list. But anything else that you're looking to buy or sell today?
Yes, Sonia. Bata is a favorite. It's an intraday buy because any dip in the market justifies buying strong stocks, at least for the day. That's Bata. And the second buy is Infosys. Tech stocks are likely to outperform. Whatever that means, at least they'll do better than the index. The three short sells are relatively easy. Divan Housing, DHFL, it's a short. LIC Housing, same group, same sector, it's a short sell. Lower levels are coming in both of them. And BPCL, we had Hind Petro yesterday. Both the oil marketing companies are suggesting lower levels are coming. Small bull, bear flag like rallies have fizzled out, broken down on the downside. Let me quickly tell you my Nifty view for today. I talked about a longer term. See, traders should be having short positions. If you don't have short positions now, yesterday we suggested buying 10,500 puts. The Nifty is already lower. You buy 10,400 March puts and hold on. The second part of your trade should come in if there is a 200-point rally. That won't come in today. Whenever that comes in, be bold and then add.
Okay. So Darshan, good morning. Yesterday you complained that I didn't ask you this, so let me ask you this today. When we were having that PSU rally, you were, anti-consensus short on PSU banks. Now, are you taking any anti-consensus long?
No. Sorry, I didn't complain. I just said I'm adding my 2 bits to it. No, Anuj, this is not. No, only Sanjay Dutt can go long in PSU banks. Nobody else. I don't think we should even think about it.
Okay. Actually, there were quite a few people who said buy banks, but they did not all say PSU banks. I mean, Mark Mobius told us. I asked him, what are you buying? I'd buy banks. He said, that was the first answer. Yeah. But he clearly said that, I'll be looking at banks which are very good in digital.
Even Jonathan Sheasel, he made a clear distinction. It's only SBI that I'm looking at and nothing else, So that's important, I guess, for retail investors to know.
Yeah, that nobody really told us to buy all PSU banks. Yes, Sanjay Dutt said that even PNB, he sees value. Okay, Mitesh, what are you also more sells than buys?
Very much, Lata. I think clearly the idea is to be traded more on the short side so that whenever the breakdown happens, I think you benefit more. I have 4 sell calls. Ajanta Pharma is a sell. Keep a stop at 1375. Look for targets of 1300. Petronet is a sell. It was a sell yesterday as well, but I think even at current levels, comfortable shorting it. Keep a stop at 246. Look for targets of 225. Also a sell on Shree Cement, which has completed a pullback and now is getting into negative mode on the hourly charts again. So here, keep a stop at 17,125. Look for targets close to about 16,000. And a sell on Siemens, which can be sold with a stop at 1268 for a decline to about levels of 1200. Okay. The solitary buy call which I have is Cipla, which is close to important support zones of 595, 593. So this can be bought with a stop at 589 for targets close to about 625.
A quick follow-up on NIIT Tech, which was down 7% yesterday and ended at low point.
That's for me?
Yes, Ashwini.
IndiGrid, that the only company to launch an InvIT, has signed a definitive agreement with Techno Electric for investment in their Patran transmission company for 232 crore rupees. Pratik Agarwal, the CEO of IndiGrid, and PP Gupta, Managing Director, Techno Electric, join us on the phone line. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Mr. Gupta, what does this sale mean to you? What could you do with this money? Does it reduce your interest cost? And what will you do with this 230 crores?
You see, it is basically Techno Electric is a EPC, strong EPC in T&D space. We build a world-class assets, and parking in IndiGrid makes sense, because it's a cost-effective vehicle to really make your debt cheap and affordable. So it is a good synergy. It's a win-win to both of us. And to begin with, it will be 46%. 46% we are diluting.
And when will you dilute the whole thing?
It will take about maybe 2 years more.
And then you will get a further, 250 crore rupees or something?
Yeah, firstly, this will mean, investment to the extent of 46%. And we will also be able to get a cheaper debt from IndiGrid.
Okay. So will you
repay our existing loans?
Oh, sure. Mr. Gupta, will you be looking to liquidate any more assets or looking to raise any more funds?
No, not at all. Don't need. We are virtually debt free.
Okay. Pratik, I wanted to ask you, how has the InvIT performance been? I understand you're giving returns of over 12%. Does it at all become less attractive as the G-Sec yields rise?
So, just taking a step back, we came to the market about a year ago with the investment rationale of offering long-term stable yields to investors, as well as growth of those yields from value-accretive acquisitions. We had announced that in the fourth quarter of this year, we will make 3 acquisitions. We're very happy to have gone ahead and closed those acquisitions last week at 1,410 crores, which is a transfer of 3 assets worth 1,410 crores from Sterlite Power to IndiGrid. And we are also happy to announce a 4th asset, which is a third-party investment into Patran, belonging to Techno Electric, which takes our total number of investments to 4 new assets since the IPO date. So this has taken our EBITDA from about 440 crores to about 640 crores. And hence a distribution per unit, which was 11 rupees annualized, will now be close to 12 rupees annualized.
Will be close to?
12 rupees annualized.
Okay. Has the idea, Pratik, caught on? I mean, we have not seen a multiplication of InvITs. The analysts we spoke with before this interview were not very gung-ho on the idea. But you tell us, has InvIT as an idea caught on, and will you be able to expand significantly?
So let's take a step back again. InvITs and REITs are globally a trillion-dollar product. There is no major market in the world that has developed this real estate and to some extent an infrastructure base without an advent of an InvIT and a yield-like instrument. And we must remember in India, this is less than a year-old phenomenon, which is very, very new. We are very confident that as the government looks at continuing private investments into infrastructure, it will provide more and more fillip products like the InvIT. Recently, we saw in the budget an announcement where many PSUs will be coming out of InvITs. We welcome that move, as that will increase the widened base and more liquidity in this market. And frankly, as the investor in India has no third option today apart from debt or equity, where if he wants to take some small risk but also secure some yield, there is no option available. And InvITs and REITs provide exactly that option for the savers in our country.